Now, Sports Talk with Broads. Here's Hunter Brody.
A 5-game win streak. Josh Hader blows it in the ninth. Alec Bohm goes yard. Matt Vierling, 1-2 count pitch hit. Go ahead, Homer. I mean, is this real life? What's going on right now? Is this an actual squad having fun and winning baseball games? Rob Thompson afterwards just cool, calm, collected. Wow. What did I just watch? When you see JT Realmuto ground into a double play, when you see early on Bryce Harper rips it to the left field side, but unfortunately Kyle Schwarber gets stuck in this uncomfortable spot, when Didi Gregorius gets a triple, and he's staying on third base without crossing home plate, you get annoyed. Why can't they get the proper hit with runners in scoring position? And let's not lie. When you knew that Milwaukee was going to the pen, we all figured, good night, everybody. You could probably turn the TV off and be just fine. You could probably flip the channel to the Stanley Cup playoffs, tune into the Rangers losing, watch the Tampa Bay Lightning do some damage, and you'll know the outcome. But no. Alec Bohm has not had an extra base hit in over 2 weeks. Matt Vierling gets called up from AAA. Josh Hader hasn't allowed a run yet this season. Now, numbers will tell you eventually it's going to occur. He won't go all year long, right? He ain't Brad Lidge. This isn't the 2008 Philadelphia Phillies where Brad Lidge goes the whole way without getting tagged in a blown save opportunity there. But, it's still Josh Hader, okay? I mean, you could say, well, eventually he'll get tagged all you want, but it's still Josh Hader at home. The Phillies blew so many chances to score runs. They didn't. And still, when you do tie the game up, right? Because Mickey Moniak goes from second to third base. First off, here he is working his ass off to beat a little dinky little dribbler to the first base side. He gets on base, moves over to second base. On a fly out to center field, his speed gets him to third. Bryce Harper brings him in. So how about Mickey Moniak, the youth of this team, creating a spark and a buzz? But Ranger, who was great, 7 innings pitched, 0 walks, a couple earned runs. When you see a wild pitch and then ends up costing you, it just stings. And with the nature of the flow of this game, and like I said, knowing how lethal their bullpen is, you just feel like, damn, not their night. They kept getting themselves in position. They kept putting guys on base. Couple guys on, 0 outs. Like I said, Didi Gregorius getting to third base. So they were there. They just couldn't execute. They could not get that timely hit. But there's something about this team right now. They're playing with that swag that we were talking about. They don't count themselves out ever. They believe in one another. And, as I alluded to early on, things will eventually turn around. They will have a run. They will have a streak. It's how sustainable is this? They will lose a baseball game eventually. I know it doesn't feel that way right now. They will. But what happens after a loss? Is that followed up with 3 straight losses? Is that followed up by 2 straight wins? What happens when that goes down? So you can look at a collected group of 10 games, a collected group of 20 games. Oh, what was that? They went 12-8, or did they go 16-4? What are they doing once you start seeing them actually play a better brand of baseball? You're coming back and you're winning late against the best bullpen they're going to see this season. That's tremendous. Keep it rolling. Now, Corey Knebel got us into a funk. emotionally there towards the end. Couple walks. The curveball's not there. So when you're throwing just the fastball and hoping and praying that you're going to blow it by guys, and you're also having some issues with walking players as well, it's a recipe for a disaster. Now, I know what Rob Thompson's doing here. He's trying to instill and trying to implement and incorporate some sort of confidence with Knebel. You are our guy. Because let's be honest, even though we're mad and we want to scream for Sir Anthony, and I think at this point it probably should be Sir Anthony, at least for the next time around and the next chance to close out a game. Let's just see. It can't hurt, right? If it is a blow, Corey Knebel blows save. So I think it's worth just the nod to see how it can go down because of how much he's somewhat playing the seesaw of a really close to a blown save. If he does somehow squeak away with it, why not try something new? Reality of the situation is, though, without Knebel being a reliable late-inning guy, you are going to be screwed. So you have to battle through this. You have to toughen up. At the same time, though, this game has to be a win because the old Phillies would piss this away. The old Phillies would lose. You can't come back in such an exciting fashion. The way they did, seriously, Bowman, Matt Vierling in the ninth off Josh Hader, you can't have that. And then automatically you lose. It's just unacceptable, and that's what losing franchises do. If you want to turn the page and you want to make yourself actually serious and have Major League Baseball talking heads and national media put you in a combination of teams that can maybe make a little bit of noise and have some spark behind them, you finish this. You win. You hear dancing and screaming and excitement and loud music when you're interviewing Alec Bohm during the postgame show. That's what happens. Reality is, though, you need Knebel. And the only way for Knebel to get back to a form that we're going to appreciate is if he battles through these tough times. So I don't know what needs to happen for him to feel better about his curveball. But without that curveball, you see these struggles. That has to change. I need to see a curveball that he could throw for a damn strike, that he could fool hitters with. Because without that deadly weapon, you just got the fastball. And sure, it's got some velocity to it. It's high 90s. But you're also walking guys, and there are players in this league who can catch up to 97. And if they know that you're not going to throw a certain pitch, or at least you don't feel good about throwing it, well, they're not worried in their head. What am I worried about? Right? I'm not going to get all up and emotional, up in arms about this curveball because it ain't rocking. It's not good. So let me sit fastball and see what I can do when he throws one. It was super close. Before that third walk, JT Realmuto behind the dish on a foul tip. I heard the rise of Tom McCarthy's voice, and I saw the ball go in and out of the mid, and I'm like, oh, no. Oh, could you imagine if that quarter inch, if that millimeter ends up boning the Phillies later on? And I do have a bone to pick with JT Realmuto. I can't believe how soft we have gotten. And I can't believe that there are some that are okay with JT grounding out into a double play with bases loaded and one out because he hit the ball hard. Well, he hit the ball hard to third base. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? How many runs scored? I don't give a damn. I don't care. Let's stop acting as if this was some magnificent, elite ground ball to third base that he just got so unlucky with. It grounded out right to third base. This is Major League Baseball. You hit that ball to a third baseman, unless realistically Alec Bohm is your third baseman, with all due respect, it's probably going to be fielded properly, and it will result in 2 outs, and that respected team will walk off the diamond without any damage done. The amount of back and forth and arguments in the comments section afterwards, well, he hit it hard, so it's not really his fault, and, he did fine with it. What are you talking about? How do you honestly have the bar that low where you're not disappointed in JT in that spot? Is that seriously where we're at? Come on. Do better. That's a pitch that should be definitely driven way better than the ground ball to the third base side. Please. Please. Crazy. Stunned. In disbelief, really. Now, Ranger Suarez, 7 innings pitched, 2 earned runs, 0 walks, 92 pitches, 62 of them were strikes. You go to Brogdon. He did allow a hit early in his outing, but from there, really sharp, really good. So he held the fort down. I want to make sure he gets the recognition for keeping this Phillies team afloat after one guy gets on base and someone who's really been down more than up this year. And there are a handful of times that I could pick out that I was satisfied with Brogdon, and I've referenced that, hey, there's something there with maybe building a little bit of energy for him. And like Knebel, if this team is going to do something, we need Brogdon. We need these guys. We need reliable arms. Connor Brogdon is someone that has to step up and give you an inning like he did tonight more times than not. Sure, there will always, for every reliever, look what just happened to Josh Hader. There will be a night where it's not their night. They do get rocked. There is a home run involved. They give up the lead. You lose a game because you blew a save. That's inevitable. But more times than not, we need Knebel. We need Brogdon. We need these guys. So putting them in certain positions, it's like, I get what Rob Thompson's trying to do with the Knebel. Now, at some point, Knebel, please. The amount of walks is problematic. So try Sir Anthony. I got no issue with it. Is Sir Anthony going to be a shutdown guy that's never going to have problems? Probably not. Right? The same people screaming for him now, which it's reasonable to scream for him now, will probably, in a month's time, think, ooh, I don't know, maybe we should try Knebel again, because Sir Anthony might go through a weak stretch where it's not his best stuff, or, you know, guys are getting on base and he's losing it a little bit. I didn't expect Knebel to snowball this clunky, you know, get into this territory of uh-oh. Veteran, savvy, got to work his way out of it, though. And how do you do that? If you remember, there's one thing that I'm wondering here. I don't believe this is true. I'll just throw it out into the world of the podcast space, if you will. There was a time where Hector Neris was your late inning dude. He was the go-to guy. You have the lead. All right, Hector, please shut it down. Eventually, he slid into what? The 8th inning role. And he was dominant. He was filthy, disturbingly good. Is it possible for right now, just to see what happens, you put Sir Anthony closing, and let's see if Knebel can find a groove in an 8th inning spot? Prior to doing that with Hector Neris, I would have never thought that would be the result or that would be the outcome. And it became such a really important piece to getting the team to the 9th. Now, you want to go through how many years of debauchery that we've seen in 9th innings that have added. I don't want to relive those moments. You can if you want to. I don't. Is there something to Knebel getting back on track by 8th inning? And then who knows? Maybe he becomes sharp there. I just don't know if, for the long term, I believe in Sir Anthony as your shutdown closer for the rest of the season at the same time. It probably, and this is just my gut feel, it's probably just going to be who's hot between the two. You'll probably be flip-flopping, going with one guy for a couple weeks until that ends up going quiet, going with back to Knebel, then trying Sir Anthony after Knebel does his thing for a couple weeks, and probably a rotation between the two on who is the hottest arm at the time. And quite frankly, if that ends up being the case, and once again, more just a gut feel, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care who closes. I don't care who's doing it. I don't care who's hot. I just want to win damn baseball games because it's a lot more fun watching this than what I saw under Joe Girardi. This is way more entertaining. Phillies Twitter is having a blast. Phillies Twitter after that 9th inning, after the strikeout, the swing, the check to see if he went, yes, you got the W. All the woos and exclamation points and the ring the bells. Please, provide me with that type of fun on a night-to-night basis. I don't give a damn that it's an 8 p.m. start and it ends at 11:30 if you're winning ball games. If you're losing, yeah, it's not as fun sitting here at midnight speaking about what just went down. But when it's that, it truly is tremendous, the turnaround and the looseness of the team and just the way that the energy has shifted. And that's what happens when you fire a manager. It sparks a different sense of urgency from everybody. And it just comes down to, does the adrenaline rush when that happened, does it last long enough for it to actually change the vibe? Because there's times where it does just for a little, and then you go back to reality. Sometimes it catches on, sort of like a fire. When it's a wildfire out there, a couple trees get caught on fire, and then, not that that's something we want to see in life. Of course, we don't want to see wildfires, but it's just the fact that sometimes it can kind of bleed into all the trees catching on fire, and then it becomes something. It's like that with the adrenaline rush. Does it catch fire, and does it continue to roll for a long period of time, or does it burn out at one point? And it seems for the right now, they caught something here, and let's see how long it lingers and how long it lasts. But I am having such an incredible time watching this baseball team. It's not like they're perfect, right? There are definitely things that make you upset. When you see the wild pitch and JT and the ball goes out and it's like, oh no, gets to second base. Now that run comes in. Of course that run comes in to score, right? Of course that run comes in to score. Oh, did I say that was when it was a tie game 2-2? I might have said that earlier. The score was 1-1 at that point after Mickey Moniak did his thing, right? Yeah, that was 1-1. I don't know if I mentioned the score earlier and said it was 2-2, but when they tied the game 1-1, I might have just said tied the game. I don't know. I've been rambling for about 17 minutes already, so sometimes things just go in and out of my brain. Rhys Hoskins had a couple hits. I know he's been a hot target as of late. Kyle Schwarber with a couple walks. No hits, but he did walk twice. His batting average is 194 now. Take that for what it is. Bryce Harper got the sac fly going the other way, just putting the ball in play, putting it in a spot where Mickey Moniak could tag up from third base, which is very important. Castellanos getting a couple hits. JT 0 for 4. Bohm had the one hit. Stott 0 for 4. But Stott made an excellent play when he dove towards would that be his left side, playing second base. And speaking of the infield, how about Scott Kingery? Scott Kingery gets called up. I forgot about Scotty Jetpacks. Think about the cash that he gets paid for what he's producing in minor league baseball. Wow, what a huge... He hit 19 home runs. 19 home runs at one point in Major League Baseball. It's just wild how quickly things can change, huh? And this, of course, is because Camargo ended up getting a little bit banged up in some base running and whatnot, so that's why that happened, but just crazy. And Didi returning to the lineup. Didi's starting to use all the field. How many times in years past have you seen graphics of right field home runs, how he pulls the ball all the time? He drove that ball to left center field-ish. All right, the other night where we had that excitement in Citizens Bank Park, Alec Bohm gets on base, Didi Gregorius goes the other way, and I remember pointing that out even before he went down and was injured and missed some time. My biggest knock, really, on Didi at this point of his career is more health than anything else. This whole narrative that he can't play and he stinks and he's bad. I saw someone try and say that they'd rather Stubbs play second base over Didi Gregorius playing as if they wanted Stott and Stubbs. Let me see if I can find the screenshot. Let me see if I can find. I remember sending it to people because I was so confused and so dazed when that popped up on my Twitter feed. Let's see here. If Johan Camargo is out for any significant amount of time, I'd prefer to see the Phillies let Garrett Stubbs get some time at second base and activate Marchand for catcher. With how good he's been, Stubbs deserves the extra playing time. What? Yeah, Didi stunk 1 year. He's been here for a couple years now. He's been great when he's played this year, and he was great his first year. He had a bad season last year, but this is his third year, and he's on track to have another good year. So that would be 2 out of the 3 years him giving you production. He was bad for one season. But people are acting as if what happened last year is what's going on right now. It's not even close. And he's using more of the field this year. So there's some intrigue on how he is in the batter's box, providing more than ever before. Crazy. Crazy. All right, we'll open up the phone lines now at 856-442-9805. Before we do that, let me introduce to you Versus Game. It is a fantastic app that allows me and you to connect even closer than ever before. Here's how it works, okay? What if I told you you can make money on questions that I come up with? For example, my question of the week for you this week is, the Phillies take on the Arizona Diamondbacks in Philadelphia this weekend. Who will score more runs in the totality of the 3 games? Will it be the Phillies or the Diamondbacks? So it's not who wins more, it's who scores the most runs when you add up all the runs in all 3 games. The Phillies or the Diamondbacks. Versus Game is an opportunity for you to make money from your knowledge. It's the app everyone is talking about because it lets you win money for being right. Imagine a social media feed where every video is a question with just 2 possible answers. You, as the player, can play these questions for free, or you can play with real money, $1 up to $100 per question against other people that Versus Game finds for you and matches against you. I play all day long, but I'm going to continue to come up with questions as well each week. So go download Versus Game and follow me by searching Broads. Make sure to play my question right now. Versus Game, one word, no space. The link is down below in the description. So many people reached out to me over this past week saying they had an absolute blast. It's incredible to have the interaction. It's a lot of fun being the one to come up with the questions. So make sure you absolutely do that. 856-442-9805. That's the phone number to hop in. With that, we'll start things off with Jimmy. How are you tonight, Jimmy?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I mean, I thought that the game that we had a few days ago against the Angels was an unlikely win. And it's crazy knowing that we only came back from a 1 run, but this win feels like the more improbable one because if you go into the 9th inning and Josh Hader's on the mound and you're down 1 or you're down at all, you're done. You are clinically done at that point. So it just feels like, I don't know, man. It just feels like there's a different vibe with this team right now. I still put this on the fact more that I just think the players are just playing better and executing. But you can't deny the fact that firing Girardi has lit a spark in this team. You just can't deny that.
No, it definitely did. Absolutely. And going back to with Josh Hader on the mound, it's not only that, but when you look at where you were with your lineup at that time, Alec Bohm does not provide extra base hits. He hasn't had one in over 2 weeks, and he drives it over the wall the way that he did. Matt Vierling gets called up from AAA, and now he's facing Josh Hader in the 9th inning of a ballgame, pinch hitting for Mickey Moniak. So even if it's Hader versus Harper, Hader versus Schwarber, Hader versus Reese, JT, Castellanos, you still don't love it because it's Josh Hader. Factor in it's the bottom of your lineup, and that's what occurs. It is a crazy game sometimes.
Yeah, it was absolutely nuts. I mean, like Alec Bohm, who does not hit home runs. I mean, he's a third baseman who's 6'5", who doesn't hit home runs. That's one thing that I know he's had a better year and better in the field, like, comparing to last year. But that's one thing that he needs to work on. He needs to get more power. He's a 6'5" guy, and he plays a position that you need power in. But what can I say, man? Let's just keep riding this as long as we can. I know I'm just hoping this is a long-term thing, and that this is somehow sustainable, and this isn't just like, oh, our manager got fired, let's just start playing. Let's just start playing with more fire. I'm hoping this is like a long-term thing, and Rob Thompson legitimately is a solution for the rest of this season, at least.
Yeah, no doubt. Appreciate it, Jimmy. I've been talking to people who's close to the situation and around this team, and the way that Joe Girardi handled things is he was an all-business type of guy, and not that Rob Thompson isn't. You could hear him after the game with his kind of delivery on things, and he's staying even keel, and these have been some crazy wild wins. And when you read the way that he's kind of talking to everyone, he does have an all business mentality about it. The difference is it's his relationship with the guys, where to us, he plays it a certain way. And to them, he still keeps it sort of in check, but it's more just relatable. You can talk to the guy. You can have more conversations and just relate to him on a different level that Joe Girardi wasn't able to tap into. And is it surprising to hear that about Joe? Yeah, it is. To be honest with you, it is. Someone who's been around baseball as long as they have, for you to hear the lack of, that's not the lack of respect, because Joe definitely respected them. It's just, I don't know. People want old school, and maybe Joe Girardi is a little bit too old school in regards to how you relate to players these days. I referenced in Storing the Breaking News podcast and when it all happened. It's a different beast these days when it comes to these athletes. I'm not breaking news here, but, not only do you have to coddle the younger players, but it's a very individualized professional sports world now. And I don't know if the way that Joe once did it works nowadays. And I am surprised to see Joe fail as quickly as Joe failed. That is old news, though. At this point, it's Rob. And Rob does have this team loose. Loose is a perfect way to describe it. They're out there not worrying too much. You're not going to lose your job because of one mistake. You're not going to get yanked because of one thing that went wrong. We believe in you. We trust in you. We know you can do it. Deep down, you have a skill set that got you in this position. You'll make mistakes. We all make mistakes. Josh Hader made mistakes. You can question maybe, the pitch to Matt Vierling. What are you doing? The best in the league fail. Mike Trout went through one of the ugliest career streaks that he's ever been through. The best of the best have their own problems at times. So that means if you're a mediocre player, just a good player, you're going to have that too, because that's how this game goes. Don't worry about it. Be you. And that's allowing this team to absorb that, and you're seeing the result on the diamond. Now we shift to Amadeo. How are you, Amadeo?
I think Matt Vierling's earning the money from that commercial that he has now.
Amazing.
Don't you think?
I have no idea how that gentleman has a commercial deal.
I'm still in shock in all of that. Like, seriously, I think I saw when Hader came out there, I was thinking to myself, like, this man has had to have allowed a run this year. Then when I see his stat line, I see 0 earned runs. I'm like, crap, we're not winning this. And then out of all the guys, Bohm and Vierling.
I know. It's crazy. But this is what happens. When you go on a run and when you rattle off a handful of games in a row and you go on a win streak, this is what occurs within that win streak. It's not always 5-0 wins, 8-0 wins. You blow teams out every single night. When you go on that crazy ride, there's going to be moments that occur like this. Now, to be honest with you, would I expect it to be a Bryson Stott walk-off after a Bryce Harper grand slam, and now you're ripping bombs off of Josh Hader with guys that you would never predict in a billion years would do it? Probably not. This would not be the path. But that's why it's so damn exciting, and we're embracing it right now.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's nice to see the young guys take that, advantage of those opportunities that Rob Thompson has given. And going to Bohm again as well. If you go back to that, I guess I'll describe it, the Angel Hernandez game back in April, to where I guess some people may forget about this because of the whole Schwarber incident. But Alec Bohm almost tied that game off of Hader too. Maybe he sees Hader well and he took advantage of that, pitch they left over the middle of the plate. Could be one of those things.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know many guys that see Hader very well. It just seemed to kind of happen. You just put the barrel on the ball and it went boom. I just think it's that simple from there. And it's funny, I was texting one of my buddies who coaches D1 baseball, and we were discussing Alec Bohm. And I kind of went, 260, 270 hitter. If he's a 260, 270 guy who's hitting as I'm typing singles, I'm watching the ball fly. I'm like, oh, damn, I got to at least finish the text. I sent it to him, and then in parentheses, had to inform him that it would feel wrong if I did not type out what I was going to send you prior to the home run that just happened. So I'll send it. I'll look like an idiot. I'll explain myself. And then, of course, we can embrace the incredible trot around the bases as the game was tied. But there was a little bit of doubt in me when Corey Knebel started walking guys, especially the first walk. Oh, how many times? How many times do you see a 2-out walk painfully come back to bite you in the ass? What did you expect to go down when he walked the first batter with 0 outs? You go, all right, well, we kind of feel what happened. You cannot lose that game. You cannot do that to yourself. You cannot let that adrenaline rush of that awesome excitement somehow escape and evaporate because you blow another game. It is not all right. So the fact they closed the door down, good, but they do have a ton of question marks at the back end of that bullpen. And let's see what Rob Thompson does tomorrow when they face the Brewers again at 8 p.m. I want to thank everybody so much for hanging out with me tonight. If you are new to the channel, make sure you smash the subscribe button. We're a couple subscribers away from 20,000 subs. Pretty amazing. If you are looking to buy tickets to go to any event out there, SeatGeek promo code BROADS gets you $20 off if you are a first-time user. So it eliminates all those fees from the jump, free parking, free booze, however you want to utilize it. SeatGeek promo code BROADS. Get yourself to a game today. Lastly, TikTok, Broads Media. We're incorporating so much fun over there on the TikTok app. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today, and I will catch